Hi guys, it's PJ. I'm sorry it's been so long since I've talked to you. There's been like crazy stuff going on with work, and that's all it was. We put a couple ads in to these newspapers to get people to, I can't give away jobs in New Jersey. We pay 15 bucks an hour in New Jersey. 15 bucks an hour. All you have to do is have a car, have a clean background check, and want to go to work. And I won't say all New Jersey, Northern Jersey. And if I'm pissing somebody off, sorry. They are like the meanest people. I had one guy call me up, and I'm from Maryland, okay? I just run that area. So I answered the phone, I'm like, hello, and he's like, calling about the job. And I said, okay, great, because I want to make sure that where we work is like there's certain really super northern parts of Jersey that are just too far for people to travel. So I say, where do you live? And he gives me some obscure town name. It's not like he said something big like Newark or, any of the thousands of places in Jersey. He says some like town that I don't recognize. So I said, oh, okay. Well, can you tell me your biggest, closest city to that so I can see where you are? And the guy says, what idiot put you in charge of hiring? And I'm like, what? Why would they put an idiot in charge of hiring that doesn't know where all the towns are in New Jersey? So I said, well, I mean, who knows where every town is in your state? Like every town, you might know where most are, but this was like I can't even remember the name. It was so obscure. It wasn't anything I had heard before. And believe me, I'm in and out of Jersey all the time. Northern Jersey. So I do know most of the town's names. I just didn't know this one. So I was like, do you really think you're going to get a job from me once you called me an idiot? Last night, I had this guy, yesterday on my way home from work, I had this guy leave me. He got a little scary. Like, I had to call Tim and say, how do I block people with this phone? Because I was, like, scared. He was, like, nuts. He was, like, C-wording it and all that. And so he sends me a text that says, something about being very good in the fastener and something department of my last job, like a fastener job, whatever that is. So I'm like, okay. And so he sends me this text, and I'm driving home. I haven't had time. My phone blew up so bad that I literally could not, get a call in from my girls in the stores and stuff. And I was, freaking. I don't know if it's up there or just the sign of, right now. But they would, call me names. I got called idiot, I think 4 times in one day. And I was like, I'm no idiot. When people are upset, I usually go the other way. That's kind of my best trick. When, somebody's screaming and yelling, I just, wherever they are in height, voice-wise, I go the opposite. And then they feel like assholes. They'll be like, oh, I'm telling you that. And I'll say, listen, I want you to take a breath. It's not worth getting upset over. And they hate that, but it does make them kind of reflect that they're being crazy, and then they stop. These people didn't stop. And the expectation, was not on me or on them to present themselves to me in a way that I would want to hire them. It was on me to present the job a way that they would actually take it. I did hire some really cool people, and I'm really happy to meet them. And of course, you know me, I had to be at the listening every night, 100% to the Republican National Convention to see what we're up against. Talk about Trump's speech last night. Okay, so I'm watching this speech last night. First off, he paints this picture of America that I was like, wow. We might as well be, cavemen looking. Is there anything positive to say about life in America? I particularly love my life in America. I don't know, like, why he was so negative. Like, I don't know that if I was Trump's camp that I would want him to be. I mean, he was like, okay, this is what he said. He basically said that the cops are right and black people are wrong. Like, he did not even mention the ridiculous amount. I mean, did you see that latest shooting with that guy laying down with his arms up like, hey, this is my patient. He's like trying to tell the cops, and they shot him. I think his name was like Charles McKinney or something. Anyway, so while he's doing this speech, this just happens, you know, and he's like, we are gonna police officers, and I'm like, but what about the actual problem? The fact that these cops, and it only takes, you know, just like apples, one to ruin a bunch and make people fear. You don't know which one's good or bad. So, no, it's all about the cops. Cops were right. No matter who they are, the cops are right. Same old bullshit. And this guy yesterday was like, I guess he was like a counselor or something with like autistic kids, and one of them had escaped and had a toy truck, and they thought it was a gun, but they didn't shoot that kid because he's white. They shot him because he's black. And like, when you see that, you're not supposed to, I don't know, recognize that. Like, I don't understand how you not recognize it. And then Pence, of course, you know, they had Pence. I don't know, I'm all over the place. I know, ADHD, just don't even worry about it. But this Pence guy believes that you can, like, pray the gay away. I love people that literally believe shit like that. But it's actually more, somebody told me it was a lot more violent than pray the gay away. Like, that's the funny way to say it. But that these, I guess there are, like, church places where you can go and you literally get like the gay knocked out of you or something. It's like aversion therapy, and it, you know, it doesn't work because being gay doesn't have shit to do with like behavior. That doesn't stop the Christians, and it just gives Christians such a bad name. You know, I know a really good Christian. He does really nice things, and I love him, and I love what he stands for. Sometimes I don't, but sometimes I really do. He's so much, like, even though he's a Christian, and he's kind of like stoic in some areas, like that I'm not. He's really open-minded, which is amazing to me, and he's very philanthropic. But I tend to not know a whole lot of Christians that aren't judgmental, feel they're right, this kind of thing. And they made sure that we knew these were like Christian values and Christian. And I was like, wow, like, it's just so separative. Everything that was said. He did back off of like banning Muslims. Now he only wants to ban people from places that have Muslims. Same fucking thing. It's just different wordage. The scary thing is, like, people on my side of the fence, they say, well, he'll never get in. They're wrong. There's a huge amount of America who feels disenfranchised and the truth is, they don't know any better. They are ignorant of facts, like that, for instance, that unemployment has been below 5% under Obama, but they would rather cut off their own fucking head than say Obama did anything good. Party lines, and I don't care about party lines. I keep telling people, you can't vote for Hillary, then vote for Gary Johnson, but only if he gets in the debates. It's a wasted vote if you vote Gary Johnson and he doesn't get in the debate. You're probably saying, like, who the fuck is Gary Johnson? Gary Johnson is the Libertarian Party's nominee for president. We actually have 3 major parties. You just don't hear about them because there's so much money behind the Republicans and Democrats that it really doesn't open up the space for anybody else. You don't hear about other candidates. Gary Johnson is libertarian. Libertarians want one thing, to get government out of our lives. Like, not our state government. Our state government funds like food stamps, welfare, the roads, the, everything you do in a state kind of thing is state. Federal government is the military and all the people on the Hill and all their vacations. Ralph Nader back in my day opened that can of worms up to show like the waste, like $800 toilet seats and stuff, because they would buy them from their cousin who was trying to open a hardware store. Like that kind of shit goes on every day on the Hill. And everything is about lobbyists. If you don't know what a lobbyist is, it's a person with an interest in a certain, usually corporations, that go and help different politicians get in office so that they can utilize that influence. And Trump says that he's above it. He's not. He is one of those corporations that for years had lobbyists that to create what he wanted out of his businesses. I don't even get Chris Christie. I mean, if he did that to my state, New Jersey, if he destroyed the economy in my state, I mean, go to New Jersey. Trump Towers, all those casinos they're like closing. They're just sitting on the ocean, dying dinosaurs. And he's, cleared himself out of it. That's who he is. Takes the money and run. Now, I just heard that he has like charges. Some like 13-year-old girl or something says that him and this other guy, I think his name's Epstein, who's a pedophile, Trump calls a terrific guy. He just likes him too young. His words. Wow, really? So I just heard that this 13-year-old that was at some party that this party planner had for these two men, Trump and this other guy, and that the deal was that she was supposed to go get these young girls. So she did, and this one young girl is saying she got roughed up and raped by Trump. Its own, I was like, get the fuck out of here. Listen, I hate the guy, but I never heard about any kind of like sexual assaults. But then all these sexual assaults he paid off already, like Michael Jackson. I know he's a sexist. If you watch The Apprentice, you know. So I guess I want to know like how far into hate and bigotry and sexual oppression and hate for like LGBT communities. Let me tell you what, I'm B in the BT, and yeah, I relate a lot, and I use Patreon, and I'm a Patreon of a lot of people in their careers that are in the LGBT community, and I just don't. Pence is like so anti-gay. I believe that this will become an issue because I believe that, they just, that's what they all look for, is these issues to murky up the water so you don't look at the fact of who he is and what he's done. And people think he's coming to bring us something. Yeah, I believe that's a very true statement. What he'll bring is the ability to voice what has become politically incorrect hate, bigotry, separation. I think he's given that voice back to some of the worst parts of people's self. And where normally, because something is politically incorrect, they would not necessarily verbalize, give word, which gives power to those thoughts. But now that they're empowered, they can be the worst version of themselves. And so, that being said, I think he's a fucking dangerous weirdo. And if we follow him, I think that we will beyond regret it. They really went after Cruz about Cruz saying like all the what he said, like to vote your conscience. God forbid, Republicans, right? And they went after him hard. They were like, he's a turncoat. No, he said, vote your conscience. I hope that everybody votes their conscience. They made such a big deal about this guy just simply saying, vote your conscience. Don't just vote party. Vote for who you want. There's good people up and down the ticket. That's exactly what he said. He didn't say, fuck Trump, this, that. You would have thought that he, like, showed pictures of Trump, you know, eating ganache, eating snatch or something. I don't know. They went insane. Okay, maybe he was supposed to get up there and speak about, you know, party or I don't know. But regardless, I thought he was such a hero. I thought Ted Cruz, I like really see him in a new light. He went, and I wrote in Twitter that what a heart and a soul that he went and bared his heart in front of like a crowd of heartless people. And instead of them commending him for his bravery, how brave to stand up to an entire arena of pumped up people and say, vote your conscience. If that's Donald Trump, that's fine. Vote what you feel in your heart, what you think in your intellect. They wanted to hang him. Like, his wife had to be escorted out because they thought that she would get, like, hurt from the crowd. So, Ted Cruz, you're a real Republican. You're not a sheeple. You should be proud. You can sleep at night. All the rest of these Republicans who stood up, signed petitions, did everything they could to keep Trump out. And then the minute they couldn't do it, they're bootlickers. They are kissing ass. And here's another little tip, Trump. If you ever watch something like this, Mr. Trump, watch out. Not from me, not from the Democrats, not from the liberals. You will be an embarrassment, and they will run like rats off a sinking ship because they don't really like you. They hated you a month ago. They did everything they could to get rid of you. And when they couldn't, they joined the bandwagon. They jumped on. They're riding your coattails, hoping you get them to the White House. And in the end, when you do, inevitably, when you do that one little fucked up thing that's going to have the country hate you, they will separate. They will remind everybody about the months before. They will say, we didn't have a choice, just like the Germans said about Nazis and Hitler. They didn't have a choice. They had to. And they're going to run from you. And you, Mr. Trump, you will be sitting there stupefied, dumbfounded. I thought they liked me. That if he gets into office, you know this will happen. All of you know this will happen. They're not going to let this guy. They think they can control him. They can't. He's a loose cannon. He's reckless. He will inevitably do something so idiotic and out of pure ignorance, he will do this because that's what all the things he said, ban Muslims, this and that. Now he's going back on it all because it was his ignorance. He just wanted to stir up the country's hate to get into the position he's in now. He did it. It worked. But now he's got to back off because otherwise people are going to start shooting Muslims. Then what are you going to do, Mr. Trump? Because you keep blaming Hillary for the world. I don't know what kind of magic wand he thinks Hillary had. She murdered all the cops. Let's see, what else? She is ISIS, allowed him into our country. Hell, she was flying the plane that went into the Twin Towers. I don't know. The list of shit he says that she specifically alone had responsibility in. These people don't like him. They never did. They signed petitions. They tried everything. Friggin', what's it called? Ryan, oh my God, hated his guts. And now, but you know what? It won't last because they're going to have to run because the shattered glass that's sprinkling is going to get on them or whatever it is. It'll happen. It's almost worth it to let him win just to watch him fall because somebody with that much ego, he said he's humble. He doesn't know the definition. He's sitting in a golden chair telling people, I'm the humblest man ever. And if you're humble, you don't tell people you're humble. It's just unbelievable. But it will inevitably, they will turn on him, because the way they got there is by turning on their own values. They all fell one by one. Speaker that like Ryan, forget it. Like, what a wimp. And they're all just so weak because, yeah, none of them could stand up for themselves or what they actually believed, except Cruz. So, Cruz, you're a hero in my eyes. How hard that must have been, because you're a good guy. You did the right thing. I'm a Democrat. Well, not really. I'm an independent, but like I will vote for Hillary unless Gary Johnson gets into the debates, and then I might change my mind, because I would go with Gary Johnson. But if he doesn't get in the debates, it's just wasting a vote against Trump. And so I know that that's it's hard, you know. It's not that I hate Hillary. I don't. And I think Obama did a really great job with what he was handed from Bush. My God, who wanted that plate of worms? Oh. But we'll see what happens. I hope Gary gets into the debate, just to show people that you don't always have to go Republican or Democrat. There are other parties. It's just that the two big bullies won't let them in. I was a libertarian most of my life. Anyway, I love you guys. If you'd like to follow me down the rabbit hole that is my crazy life, hit the button down below, subscribe, give me a thumbs up if you like these kind of videos, a thumbs down. If you don't, I understand. Either way, got you watching me manifest something wonderful in your life. If you know it, think it, believe it, you can have it too. Like, you can have a crazy, no, I don't know, like what? Like, you can be on the sidelines watching the craziest presidential nominee do some crazy shit. I'll tell you what, it'll be entertaining. I don't think it'll be very good for us, but it won't be boring.